Hello, myself Sunil Ramkrishnan. I am so I my last designation was as a software delivery head. And my qualification side it's graduation from commerce, and in other qualification that is HDSC and high diploma in software engineering, that is HDSC and high MCP basically I had done. And I had done one course that is basically related to the software company running course basically, that is basically computer software company running course, that is basically one degree basically. That degree says that how basically you can run the software company basically. So software company is up to energy level basically. For example, if you want to run, if you are creating one software, and up to what level basically you can do, and what are the up to level basically you have to do the task, so that you can able to create the human needs from the software basically. So this is basically 85th part basically of the formula word. And in this basically we are going to see little bit question, and in next video basically we will be seeing the answer of this question basically. So the first question is basically, what is the dream project of any project manager, director, and project owner project? So what is the dream project? Project means basically what is the project, that basically we have already told. What actually for that basically many videos are uploaded. Then what is the software owner, that also we have seen basically in many videos basically what is the software owners and what are their roles, that also we have seen basically. And here the question is, what is the dream project basically? Dream means you can say the end level basically of the project of the software industry basically, that from maximum this basically nobody has done this. This is the maximum level of the software industry group basically. Whoever he has done up to this level work basically. So that project basically, if he is doing that project, that means he has touched the dream project. So we will be seeing this in detail basically, what is the dream project basically. And the second question is basically, how air condition basically can solve the problem of chartered accountant problems basically. Chartered accountant basically, for example, there is one syllabus, and in this syllabus basically there are 16 books basically. And in 16 book basically, just taking an example basically, in one syllabus basically there are assume 4 to 5 books basically. In really basically there might be more, but I am taking here just 4 to 5 books uh, in one syllabus. And in one book basically there are 16 to 17 problems. So basically from air condition basically, that is basically air condition, which basically for cooling basically we use the air conditions. So for from that basically, how you can able to achieve these 16 problems, that also very easily. Third question is, if condition we have seen basically the people who are basically into good into programming side, and basically just learning the programming in any technology basically. In any technology we have if condition, we have while condition, we have while loop also. So if I say that if condition, else condition, and if condition basically are created from 2000 cities, then basically nobody will be going to believe this. So how this basically gets practically connected basically, practically gets connected to the software industry. Fourth basically question is, how many human needs basically has been created from the software energies industry. So software industry basically most might be have created more than 1 crore project basically, right? But 1 crore project basically has been created by small companies and big companies. So total basically you can take a number as a 1 crore, but many less software basically gets converted to the software energies. So that is the stuff. So how many human needs has been converted to software energy? So this is one question. This is fourth question. Fifth question is basically, who and which group has created this SDLC project management plan and software industry basically. Who created the project management plan? Who created the SDLC? And who created the entire software industry basically? Seventh number basically. how basically power company basically, that is basically power supply giving company, that is basically in Vadodara it is MGVCL company, how they basically knows each and everything what is happening in the software company, how they are knowing it, that is the main question basically. How basically they are knowing that this project is ongoing in the software company, how basically they knows this. This is basically seventh question. And how basically they know that whatever activity stuff basically that has happened, then how basically they know basically that this stuff has already happened, this incident has happened to that person, and how many people are working in this software company, and how many people are working in this project, up to that level basically information project the power companies have. So this is basically seventh number. And how basically Hollywood, Bollywood groups are connected with the software industry basically. How they are connected. Ninth question basically. How software blood cells is created by the set of software industries and software energy groups and software power groups basically. How basically blood software blood cells has created basically. And the question basically is up to what level the software companies has created their chain in Earth planet and in the universe and in the satellite basically. The software chain is basically you can say the, for example, um, there is one software company basically who has created their one base software basically. That is base software. Then on the base of there are basically I assume there are 5,000 10,000 fields in this software basically. So they told that we are going to create 10,000 projects basically on that base of 10,000 fields basically. So this basically connects like this. Each field is connected with the each project basically. This is like government project basically. Government each and every projects basically are connected with the each and every fields. So their fields are equal to set of companies also you can say. If you say that this field is connected with the set of private companies, that also 100 200 companies, from that one field basically government projects, in the government projects there are many projects basically that have basically one field, and that field connects to the hundreds of private companies basically that are software here basically we are talking only about the software company basically. So it's like that basically. Then the 10th, 11th question is one person told that text box equal to 1,000 cities. And how basically city data gets getting calculated and in the software energy is equal to then this converts into human needs basically. So basically how basically the creation basically of the software the text box equal to 1,000 cities works basically that basically. For this basically I have taken one video, but this here basically we are going to see the questions answer. Then basically 12th number is what are positive energy in the software industry and what are the negative energy in the software industry. So basically what are the software positive and negative energies in the um, basically you can say in the software industry. That is basically if condition is there, whiles are there, for loop are there. This basically all contains directly connects with the positive and negative energies basically. And the if condition basically is created on the base of thousands of cities basically. Then basically 13th number, how versioning controls how basically versioning information basically is handled by the software company basically. Versioning information means I will take one example. For example, assume there are 100 times the world is ended, right? 100 time world has ended. So this is just a number basically, this is just taken as an example. In real basically the world might have ended many times, but just for example I'm taking 100 times world has ended, right? So each time world was ended, up to what level basically, what level the creation has reached, and that time basically world ended. This information basically earth planet people can't have because all people were might have died at that time basically. But universe and sky group basically that are galaxy groups, they have each and every information of up to the level basically the world when the blood cells was on creation, That time basically world was ended. So to keep track of each and every time the world was ended, for that basically they have created animals basically. Animals basically, you can say the natural animals and the human creation, human created animals also basically. So it's like that basically. So we will be going to see this versioning information in detail basically. And basically 15th question is, on the base of which clock basically the world software company is running. On the base of which clock basically the software company is running basically, that is you can say, which is that clock basically. For example, just now basically it is 7 o'clock, right? So 7 to 8, what are the tasks basically has to be done, have to be done, is going to happen in this time period basically, that is basically 7 to 8 period. So what clock this that basically generates the information that you are going to do the universal clock basically, you can say. Each software company have their own clocks, but that is basically connected with the universal clock. So how basically they do the task of this basically, this you can say it's connected with the chain basically, that also you can say the up to what level the chain basically information, that also basically we are going to see. This is basically 15th number. Then the 16th number says that which energy are following which energies, means one person is doing this task. So who is telling him? So basically each and every person basically is doing their task. So somebody is going, is telling him to do this task. So who is the reporting person of each and every task basically? This also basically we are going to see. And 17th number is in world basically there is one clock which handles the time basically, which runs the time, and there is no battery and nothing is there. It basically runs on the base of certain energy basically. In this world was, for example, there are 1 lakh objects. So 1 lakh objects energy basically that runs that clock basically. For example, one from 1 lakh basically 1,000 objects get ended due to some reason. So that 1,000 objects has ended, that basically the clock is going to show basically. So that is basically that is now the, this was 17th number. This is 18th number basically, you can say. What is the bill amount in the software industry? For example, view text box. They then basically how uh, the amount is going to be paid basically. For example, there is one text box equal to 1,000 cities has been created. So what is the bill amount basically of the each and every software company's product basically, you can say. This is going to be very interesting basically. Then basically it's a 19 number. 19 number says that how many education center basically, how many education we have for software people basically, like MSc computer is there, then BTech is there, MTech is, MCA is there, PCA is there, MBA system is there, IITs is there, IIM is there. Then basically 1,000 cities equal to text box creation has happened. Like this basically how many education centers are there. Then basically 20 number, how many cities each and every base software company has created. Example, Microsoft product required 1,000 cities ka power supply basically. So Microsoft basically whatever product gets on basically in the computer, that basically requires one power supply. So that basically is. Then 21 says which government rules and regulation are connected to the software industry. So which government has created the software industry rules basically, and how many governments are connected with the software industry rules and regulation basically. This is 21st number. And the 22nd number is up to what level the computer and software blood cells has been reached, and how many owners are there of this basically. For example, Microsoft is there, so Microsoft owner is Bill Gates. So like this basically each and every owner have their own blood cells. For example, they get some disease, so their blood cells only basically repairs them and finds basically the solution basically. And their blood cells basically gets generates and the creation happens like this basically. Microsoft software basically equal to 1000 cities assume, and 1000 cities basically gives the power supply to the Microsoft and the Microsoft owner, basically we can say. So like this, basically this is 22nd question. Basically in this, basically we are going to discuss now this is basically 85th number, and in 86th basically we are going to discuss about this answer basically.